G'day, g'day. I'm back for another one. Today we're doing the quad sealed bearing kit for the FXR swing arm. I've got the swing arm sitting right here, ready to go. It's a pretty solid upgrade from what I'm understanding. Normally you would have the rubber bushings in there. They do the job. If that's what you want in there, go for it. It's going to ride smoother. You're going to have a little bit more flex in there. This is going to stiffen up that rear wheel. It's going to stop that side to side play. And overall, it's going to probably last longer. And you get more range of motion out of your suspension because there's less friction point. So your springs are actually able to just do what the springs want to do on that rear suspension. Am I going to be able to feel the difference? Probably not. I will probably feel that it's a bit stiffer. So I think that it's worth doing. Listen. I would buy the bare knuckle performance one. I think it's probably a really solid piece of kit. I live in Canada, unfortunately. So for me to ball out, it's like 40% more right off the hop. Plus I'm going to pay probably about $80 for shipping across the border. And then I'm going to get hit with the duties because for some reason we're in a trade war and I don't understand it. And I just want to build a motorcycle, man. So I would buy the bare knuckle one, but it's already quite expensive. Plus, then I got to add 40% for the exchange rate. So, it'd be like $600 for a bearing kit. This is what I'm assuming a clone copy. It's made by V-Twin Manufacturing. It is made in Taiwan, unfortunately, but I think for what I need it to do, it's going to do the trick. And listen, if it breaks, that's on me. That's my bad. I should have spent more money. But this motorcycle is already pricey enough, If it wasn't for the exchange rate, I would have an S&S motor. I have an Ultima motor, I want to be cool with the cool guys, and I want to run all the cool guy parts, and I want to support everybody that I see out there. But unfortunately, I literally can't afford it, I can only afford the cheap Taiwanese knockoff stuff. Well, for this. Most of the stuff I spent quite a bit of money on, but at some point I'm going to run out of money. So for this job, you're going to need some 290 green Loctite, the wicking one. You could probably use red Loctite or even blue if you wanted, but that's what it calls for. So I just bought this. It was like $15, not the end of the world. I figure may as well do it properly because people are watching. You're also going to need a bearing press kit from Princess Auto or Harbor Freight, wherever you live, whatever you want to call your store. Or you can use a socket that's the same outside diameter as the other one. But these kits are fairly cheap, so we're going to be using that. You're literally just going to stack it on top, put that through. And they say that you don't need a press for this. I'm not 100% sure about that. We'll see. Worst case, I got the old press back there. You're going to want to make sure this is all nice and clean. I already know that it is, so we're going to be good. You want to make sure your Loctite's cut open, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the outside of the bearing. I really don't know how much goes on there. This stuff is like liquid. I've never used it before. Shouldn't need a press. I don't know about that. Going in. We're going in. Now you can use your tool. So you're going to tap that in until it flushes up into the bottom. And they call for 4.5 inches between your transmission is exactly 4.5 inches. So when I measured that, you go 1/4 inch from there and 1/4 inch from there. Now keep in mind, your bearing has an attached spacer. That bearing in here is going to sit flush with the inside, and that's going to stick out. And that should give you about what you need. So you're going to tap that bearing until that's sitting where you want it. There. Cool. That is going to sit exactly like that. That bearing is flush with the outside, and that bearing is sitting there. And then this piece is going to go in here, and your outside bearing with your spacer on the outside is going to go out here. I'm gonna put a little bit of Loctite there as well. You're just gonna hammer that in until it sits flush. And then you're gonna let that cure for 2 hours. I don't know. Part of me just wants to put it all together, but I'm gonna follow actual procedures, you know? Stuff is interesting. You're just gonna tap that in until it's kind of flush in there, because you don't want to pop it out on the other side. And that should sit sticking out of here a little bit. See you guys in 2 hours. Just gonna get you a better visual. So this sticks out a little bit because that isolator bushing is gonna come sit on that, right? And you don't want the isolator bushing to be rubbing on your swing arm. You want to have a little gap so the swing arm can move. And this here sits 1/4 inch out. And then you're going to have 4.5 inches between, and this one's going to sit 1/4 inch out. When you come press this one in, you're going to leave it just like a 1/16 shy. You want to be able to slip that over the transmission, and then you're going to bolt it in. And then that final squeeze is going to bring you to where you need to be. While we're waiting, I started putting the cleave blocks and stuff together. Little suspension reveal, little something something. I got to put these on anyway, so look at these bad boys. Pretty fancy. They just make really nice stuff. I don't know why I'm putting that back on. All right, listen. I'm a little bit of a suspension freak. And that's pretty fucking nice, okay? Are they the fully adjustable ones? No. I don't think that I don't think I need that. You know what? I tossed it up. I tossed up the idea of spending the extra like $450. I called Ohlins and I got these ordered and I told them what my weight was, what the bike was, and what I was planning on doing with it. And they put the right spring on for me and they valved the shock for me. I don't think that I need anything else, you know? Am I going to sit there and fine tune it and fully adjust it? No, I'll just adjust the preload. And they honestly said that they would be set from the get-go, but I might fuck with it a little bit. But yeah, I didn't think that it was worth the extra money personally. But is it cool to have all those little gadgets and gizmos? Absolutely. While we're talking about it, I also got some matching preload adjustable fork caps for my gold valves. I bought these nice fancy strut mounts from Oliver at Cut Rate. If you were wondering if they're super nice, yeah, they're really nice. If you like that like 90s cool billet shit, this is right up your alley. These are the Type 3s with the 3 ball mills up top and the fin on the side. RP positioning, so you've got your standard positioning and then RP is in the back. This raises the bike about 1 inch. Ohlins comes with these sleeves, so if you don't put the sleeve, it's going to vibrate in there. So you just slap that in like that. Put that through. Make sure that sleeve sits there. And then you're going to want to have one spacer on that because these are technically made for a Sportster. So there you go. And that'll allow you to be spaced out enough to put them where they need to be on the swing arm. And then just put your bolt on the other side. Always put Loctite. This is just kind of like a mock-up for me, so I'm not putting any Loctite right now, but I will be putting Loctite on all of these bolts. They move, they bash around, put Loctite on it. When in doubt, put Loctite on it. It's a Harley, it will vibrate, and it will come loose, and you're going to lose shit. Loctite everything. Man, that looks sick. I am so stoked on this. Ball mill on top, so sick. Yeah. So back to what I was saying about the RP-RT fitment. You don't need to have an RP-RT frame. They all have them. I'm sure most of you guys know that, but if you're like just getting an FXR and you're watching this build series, that's like a good thing to know. You know, if you want a little bit more height, just buy RP strut mounts and then you'll get that extra inch. I also see a lot of people run the reservoir down. I don't know if it's because they don't run the spacer here to clear into that notch, or if maybe on the standard fitment it doesn't fit. but this seems to fit fine. Granted, I don't have it bolted up to the swing arm yet, so I'm not sure. But maybe it won't fit and I'll have to run it the other way. I think it looks better this way, but, or maybe it's a bag thing. I don't know. I don't know. All right, round two. Like I said, I don't really know how much of this stuff you put on there. And you're going to tap this one with a little bit more of a gap than the other one. Like I said, 16th gap. It'll help you get it on that transmission. Slap that in there. Ready for your final bearing. That one will be sticking out more than the other one, but that's okay because when you put your pivot rod in, it'll squish everything together. Yep. One sec. You're gonna put that washer in there. It's like a thick washer with a machined inside cup. The cup goes towards the inside so it can accept the shaft pause when you pull that through. I'm gonna put a little bit of blue Loctite on this. Some people put red. I put blue on everything because if ever I have to like pull it apart, I don't want to hate my life. Your end goal is no side to side play. I mean, the whole frame's moving here, but you get what I'm saying. No free play. And up and down, no problem. Doesn't feel like it's restricting against the bearings. If you torque that down too much, it's going to squish those bearings and you're not going to be able to do this freely. So that's what you're looking for. And that's it. That's done. You're going to let that set overnight. There you go. It's all mounted up. Torque down. Don't forget to Loctite these as well. That's it. That's another one done. That's another video in the books. Fini. That's it. I think that's a pretty simple mod, you know. If you got a couple bucks, you want to throw at your FXR and make it drive a little bit better, I think that's a good one right there. And it's fairly easy. Like I did three things at once, you know. I needed a friend for the transmission. You could probably do it by yourself, but I will say if you have friends, they're great to call favors upon, you know. Unless you don't. And if you don't, well, good luck, because it's going to be a tough one. You might scream. Anyways, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying doing them. I'm going to keep doing them as long as you guys keep watching. But like it, subscribe, comment, say hi, say something nice, you know. Maybe you like something I did here. Maybe say, hey, that was pretty cool. But as usual, tell your friends, tell your family, show everybody, screaming on a rooftop, tell your mom I said hi, and I'll see you in the next one.